looked like a post-apocalyptic war zone, like a Walking Dead set. Nature had completely taken over. You know, after 40 years of abandonment, a small acorn turns into a big tree. I think when it was originally built in 1887, Colonel E.H. Taylor had this grand vision that it would be a destination. People would come from all over the world, which is why he made it feel a little bit more otherworldly, like, you know, somewhere in Europe as opposed to this little town in Millville. My partners, Will and Wes, had this crazy vision and foresight to see that this place could be brought back to life, where most people were, you know, scared by it, and that's why it sat vacant for so long. It's a beautiful historic place, and to me, it kind of challenges you to go beyond and push harder. I kick myself on a regular basis because I worked just down the road at Woodford Reserve for about 6 years and never drove down here to see this place when it was in its former state. So the first time I saw it, it was about 4 months after Will and Wes had already gotten their hands on it and started cleaning it up a bit. So I didn't get the experience of, you know, chopping down vines to get into buildings, but it was still pretty rough at my first time by. You know, there were still roofs that were collapsed, every window was broken, the buildings themselves were rough. The skeleton and the bones were good, but they just looked really scary. And this garden had already been kind of shaped up. Our vision from the very beginning was to revive this place in paying homage to history. So in the way that Colonel Taylor did, we wanted to separate ourselves from the bourbon industry and make something greater, grander, a little more elegant and sophisticated. So somewhere that you'll go and stay and spend the day and have a more curated experience rather than, you know, just a tour and go right on to the next. The castle is the distillery, so it's going to be loud, there's going to be steam going, you're going to see, you know, the mash fermenting in the big, 11,000 gallon fermentation vats. We have 300,000 gallons of mash capacity. There's all these, 1930s pieces of equipment that we've refurbished and are in use. It's a pretty magical place. It feels a little bit like walking into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. I couldn't say that there's one particular part that I love the most. I get a lot of gratification from making a mash, from actually having my hands on the process. That's probably the most important part to me, is that I get in there and I am, physically affecting the quality of the product and making sure that the operators that we select and our team that we build really understands the importance of that. Our team, we've been very particular at who we've brought on from the very beginning, and it's grown slowly, and sometimes it's been frustrating because we're all wearing so many hats here, but we're taking our time and identifying talent and people that are passionate about this project. So I would definitely call the people that I work with and our team here at Castle & Key family.
Nice burgundy colors.
So my job here at Castle & Key is to make the best spirits that we possibly can. I have been trained formally in the industry by a master distiller to create really high quality spirits, and that's exactly what I wanted to do here. We didn't want to go out and just buy bourbon that someone else made and put it in a bottle of our own. We wanted to make it from scratch because that's the way Colonel Taylor would have done it. So it's my job to create the recipes, source the ingredients, approve the distillate as it's coming off the still before it goes in the barrel. And then at the end of 4 years, when we get there in 2021, I'll be the one developing the batches and making sure the flavor is what we hoped it would be. There is a little bit of nervous anticipation on what the spirit's going to taste like when it comes out of the barrels, but I get impatient, I guess, sometimes. So we've already been tasting barrels, and even at 6 and 7 months, they are really shaping up well. We're very pleased with the direction everything's going. Accepting a position as a master distiller isn't, a 2 to 3 year plan. This is a long-term plan, just as any bourbon venture. You kind of hurry up to get things started, and then you just have to wait and let nature take its course. I'm a Kentucky girl. I was born in Tennessee, been here all my life. but I'd never really been exposed to bourbon or really to spirits much at all. I grew up in a dry county. I really had a passion for science and math as a youngster, so I went into engineering school thinking that I would wind up working on cars or making biodiesel or something like that. And then I found the bourbon industry through an internship through the University of Louisville. So I started working for a global spirits company and just fell in love. You use every major unit operation that you learn in chemical engineering school in a distillery, which, a lot of people don't think about how technical and mathematical it can be. It's interesting because of my background and where I've been and where I thought I'd go, they've always kind of tended to be more male-dominated industries, and I think that is starting to change. There are lots of more women coming into the industry, even just coming into STEM industries in general, more women interested in math and science. And people bring it up a lot. Well, you're the first female master distiller in Kentucky. I am proud. I'm proud that I've achieved this, but I think it was a long time coming too.